What is up, everybody? This is Steve the Breach coming to you here today. We are driving home from work. Good old New Year's Eve bash coming up. It'll be here in no time. New Year's 2022. We're already thinking about next year's big WrestleMania. WrestleMania going to be taking place in LA. This is WrestleMania 38. Damn, it's been a while since I've been to a WrestleMania, and I think that honestly this year is going to be a big WrestleMania coming up, Dallas, Texas. The one thing that I kind of soured on my time was the Hall of Fame. We went to the Hall of Fame at WrestleMania 27. Saw him put in Shawn Michaels. Went to WrestleMania 28. Saw him put in Edge. I didn't go to 29. 30, I think we went to, and I spent a minute at 31 because we had tickets, but we ended up leaving to go to the High Spots actual wrestling show, which I thought was over at WrestleCon, and I kind of made that decision because it kind of seemed like everything was up on the network. They uploaded it the minute that it was ready to go. But I'm thinking, honestly, this year, Hall of Fame, if they're able to actually do an actual physical Hall of Fame where you go in, buy a ticket, sit in the seats, is one that we need to actually see. Batista, a holdover from 2 years ago, was not at the Hall of Fame, has not actually been inducted yet. Last year they did the Hall of Fame from the Thunderdome, put a lot of big names in, but I honestly think that, you know, those big names that WWE has been saving, one of the biggest names should be inducted as soon as physically possible, because like we named Shawn Michaels going in, Edge going in the year after their last matches. Since then, both of those guys have came back. Actually wrestled again since. The Shawn Michaels match we don't really talk about because it happened overseas. But Edge actually coming back, you know, being on WrestleMania, winning a Royal Rumble. He just wrestled on the last pay-per-view. Oh no, that's tomorrow, on day one. But I think it has to be The Undertaker. And we've been talking about this, honestly, for a while. Every year we kind of thought that it was Taker's last one. I thought that Taker would go in at WrestleMania 31. I didn't think he would come back and wrestle after losing the streak to Brock Lesnar. That ended up being wrong. He came back, faced Bray Wyatt, came back at SummerSlam, wrestled a pretty hefty schedule. I think he wrestled at Survivor Series that year. Because it was like one of the anniversaries of his debut. And I was like, you know what? He's going to come back, you know, wrestle this kind of hefty schedule, and then he's going to be done. But no, he kept coming back. He came back, wrestled against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns beat him. His second loss at WrestleMania. Well, that's got to be it. He left his boots in the ring. I was wrong again. Came back. But Undertaker, he did the last ride. Oh, was that it? His documentary series that kind of played off The Last Dance. You know, they said that they were filming it the whole time, but to me, honestly, it seemed like that's why WWE did it. I haven't had a chance to see it, but at the end of that, he says he's done. Then he started doing retirement, you know, to kind of like autograph signings and things like that. And Vince brought Undertaker back, signed him to like a big deal, where he just wants to keep the mystique of The Undertaker if he ever needs him. He has him, you know, do the Stone Cold Steve Austin show. He had him do a Netflix movie with a New Day for Halloween. You know, he's going to be doing, you know, kind of stupid stuff like that. But I think the big thing that we need The Undertaker for is the Hall of Fame. Undertaker, he had a brief career wrestling in WCW. Then he came over, he was the Dead Man. If they were to debut the Undertaker gimmick today, it would be shitted on and people would hate it. And within a year, he'd be repackaged and put into something else. I think if he came out today, it'd be looked at as the same way Fandango was when he came out around WrestleMania 29. You know, the hit people will swear they love him, but most people will complain about him being online like, oh, we're supposed to think this guy is dead. I'll tell you the truth. I was a 10-year-old kid when Undertaker debuted at SummerSlam 1990, and when that guy came out, my house got quiet. I physically thought that guy, you know, he came back Survivor Series 91. He wrestled against Hulk Hogan. I thought because that broke the tradition of the Survivor Series matches, they actually had a one-on-one match. And the first thing I ever saw about it was like, yeah, they announced it as a one-on-one, but then they'll make it like a Survivor Series match because it's the Survivor Series. Turns out, didn't get the show. Here Hulk Hogan lost. He's not the champion. I don't believe it. He lost the title a couple days later. I think he was supposed to be a transitional champion that got us to what happened at WrestleMania, but then not knowing, you know, who was going to be the champion. It ended up being, you know, Macho Man Ric Flair. We thought we were going to get Hogan Flair, and then ended up being Sid versus Hogan. You know, Undertaker sort of got forgotten about. Who did he wrestle? Did he wrestle Jake the Snake that year at WrestleMania? That was a big match, but it wasn't as big a match, especially with Jake leaving to go to WCW right after that. But, you know, Undertaker was the guy. I don't know when they noticed the streak was the streak. I think it was like around his 10th WrestleMania, which would be, the Toronto one. I think he won, and then he held 10 fingers up, and then they sort of told us that, you know, he had, you know, won at 10 straight WrestleManias. But, you know, I think the streak, in my mind, is not that big of an accomplishment. Why they could be like, Undertaker can win every time he's out at WrestleMania, but he can't win every time he's on SmackDown or every time he's on Payback. I don't really understand that, but I guess that's a way of making WrestleMania as big as humanly possible. But Taker, easily, he's not on my Mount Rushmore, but I think he's fucking close. He's got to be in my top 10, even though I've never really laid that out. But damn good matches. You can easily say match of the night at WrestleMania at least 5, 6, 7 times. He had a streak where, you know, him and Batista, him and Michaels, him and Triple H, him and Punk, they were freaking bangers. And you just knew that they were going to deliver. I think, honestly, around the Brock match, that one he always sort of gets crossed out because he lost and because he got the concussion. They showed that play out. I don't think that match was what it was supposed to be. Him and Bray Wyatt really didn't deliver because I think the storyline sucked. That Undertaker wasn't on Raw or SmackDown until WrestleMania. But then again, I guess we thought he wasn't going to come back because Bray Wyatt ate his soul or something like that. But I don't know. Taker's one of the best. I'm pretty damn sure he's going in. It's not him. I think we're running out of headliners. They've always got Triple H. They've always got Rock, but things going to be like, how do you get Rock there to do it? Vince McMahon is always going to be a big name, and then we kind of fall off into like, are they going to let Psycho Sid be the main event guy? I love Sid. Sid's a good dude. He had a good career, but is Sid your main event guy to go into the Hall of Fame? People look at classes like, I know that a lot of people think of WrestleMania 31, Macho Man was the main event guy, but the last guy out there was Kevin Nash. Love Kevin Nash, but he's Kevin Nash. Ted DiBiase, hell of a name in wrestling, hell of a heel, hell of a hand, wrestled some of the best matches in WWF at the time, but was he the main event guy for WrestleMania 26? If, you know, they get Warrior, I don't think he is. So, I don't know where this ambulance is coming from. So, peace out, guys. Hope you guys enjoy your New Year's, and I'll see you guys down the road.